Welcome to Pubcast Live. I'm Ken Thomas along with Thor.
That'd be me.
Yes, and Pubcast Live is the podcast where we celebrate America's love affair with bars, pubs, and breweries. This is episode Sweet 16. Sweet. And speaking of bars, pubs, and breweries, guess what?
We got a brewery.
And
one that a lot of folks are going to be maybe not familiar with.
You know, and for the second week in a row, we're going to talk to a business that's relatively new.
That's right.
Opening within the last few months.
So our listeners are going to, find out something about a new place that they're probably not familiar with.
And this place, I love the name. It's the Snarky Loon up in beautiful Jenkins, just right there on 371.
That's right. At least it's not the Grumpy Gull, like I said.
I've seen those in the parking lot. They're trying to go for the fries.
The Snarky Loon.
The Snarky Loon. I'm looking forward to this.
Should be fun.
I see that our guests are here in the studio, and they have a cooler.
They do. They have a big cooler down there.
A very large cooler.
Almost too big.
What could it mean?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I think it's going to mean some samples, and I'm looking forward to that and finding out a lot more about the Snarky Loon. We'll do that next on Pubcast Live. We remind you that Pubcast Live is brought to you by Giovanni's Frozen Pizza. Great frozen pizza with over 20 varieties to choose from. And you're going to like them all, but check out the buffalo chicken. Blue cheese dressing, chicken marinated in wing sauce. It's a good one. Yeah, you'll like them all. They have 20 varieties, and they're available in bars all over the upper Midwest. So ask for it by name. That's Giovanni's Frozen Pizza. Thor, it is time for us to meet our guests today here on Pubcast Live, and we are thrilled to have Joe and Melissa Catt with us from the Snarky Loon in beautiful Jenkins, Minnesota. Joe and Melissa, thanks for joining us on Pubcast Live.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
This is a lot of fun. So this is new, isn't it?
Brand new. March 11th, we officially opened.
Wow.
So that is March 11th. Okay.
All right. So tell us the story. How did you decide to open a brewery in beautiful Jenkins, Minnesota?
Hold on. He did it again. He does this all the time.
Oh, wait a minute. What?
You came bearing gifts for us here on Pubcast Live. And this is what did you call this? A Kolsch?
Kolsch.
All right. And he does this all the time. He wants to start. He's so anxious. He's so good.
Yeah, I keep forgetting we've already had a couple of sips on this beer.
That's right. But we're gonna toast.
Okay.
And then we're gonna start the show. Okay. This is a Kolsch from the Snarky Loon. All right. There you go.
Good.
Nice.
Cheers.
All right. We'll find out more about all your beer offerings. And thank you for the samples here. This is delicious.
Definitely.
Yeah. So tell us about the origins of the Snarky Loon.
Well, it all kind of started in our kitchen about a year ago, actually, right before really COVID took off. We had talked about before that, opening a business and what would we do, and with Melissa's experience in the brewery industry already and some of the restaurant business, it was like, she kind of got a feel of what people are looking for.
Sure.
In an establishment. Sure. And so we said, well, let's go ahead and let's do a brewery. We knew a brewer that we wanted to use. And so we started talking about it more and more. And I said, well, let's do something with a camping theme to it. Everybody comes up to Brainerd to go to the lakes and to be outside and just hanging out. And so it was kind of we just tried to come up with something with camping, and then it was, hey, let's go with, what do you hear when you're out camping? The first thing in the morning, you hear the loons. So as we drank more beer, I was like, you can't just call it loons. So, we drank a few more beers, and, then, what happens?
Got an attitude.
You get a little snarky. You get a little snarky. So it became the Snarky Loon, and, it just kind of, then the whole process of, okay, we got a name and we got what we want to do with it. And then it was finding the right location and everything together.
I am glad you didn't call it like the Grumpy Gulls or something. I hear gulls do a lot when I'm camping.
Yeah.
Grumpy Gulls doesn't sound quite as fun.
No, this is
Snarky
good.
Loon that fits.
Yeah, that works.
So it's the Snarky Loon. You're in Jenkins, Minnesota, north of Brainerd, up in Jenkins.
Yep.
It's been a while since I've been through Jenkins, believe it or not, even though I have a cabin in northern Minnesota that I go through there all the time. Are you right on the main drag? Just a little off? Or where do we find you?
We're right on 371, just north of
Apine,
County Road 16, just before you get into town.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, and I've seen you. Yeah, it's looking really good. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. There you go.
All right. So, Melissa, you started to tell us about this Kolsch.
The Kolsch is like our lightest beer that we have. If you need a refill, it looks like.
Mine is
Somebody's thirsty.
Yeah, go for it. Yep. So the Kolsch is our lightest beer that we have. A lot of people come in asking for, I want a Bud Light, or, how about that Busch Light? Yeah.
Really?
I don't even really question people
Don't do that,
anymore.
people.
I just hand them our Kolsch and here you go, and they're like, ooh, this is good. So up in that area, it's a lot of light drinkers.
Sure.
And we knew that we had to have a Kolsch or a light beer just for the area to get some of those people to come in and to try us. And then we can slowly transform them, which we have a lot of people transform just to a little bit more of a beer, expanding their taste buds, all of that kind of stuff. So, yes.
Well, this is delicious. This is really good.
Yeah.
This is your Kolsch.
That's our Kolsch. Yep.
So,
do they all have names?
Oh, yes. All of our beers have a name. Some are more fun than others.
do you have one named Bob or?
Not yet. Somebody asked us that the other day. Yeah. And so we were kind of talking about that. But yeah, no, we've been trying to kind of just up north kind of come with names of just things that are up north.
Sure.
Another one that we brought today is the Bobber Red IPA. So the Bobber, because of Pequot is a Bobber town. And so, so that, and the Bobber's Red. So that was kind of how we named that one, Bobber Red IPA. Another one
So there's a Bob.
There is a Bob. There's a Bob.
But I mean,
It's, all in how you look at it, right?
Okay.
Another one that we have that we brought today is our Morning Haze. That's your hazy New England style, IPA.
Ooh.
So it's very hazy. It almost looks like orange juice. You cannot see through it. Doesn't mean it's heavy though either.
Right.
We have a porter. That's our Dirty Loon porter.
Okay.
We got a Loony Bavarian, which is our Hefeweizen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm looking at your logo. I like your logo. Now, do you have how do people find you? Do you have a Facebook page or a website?
Both.
Or both? Okay.
Both, yes.
So tell us about that real quick so our listeners can right away get
So our Facebook is Snarky Loon Brewing. Pops right up on there. Also, same thing for, Yahoo or whatever. You can Google us. It comes up Snarky Loon Brewing.
Sure.
Right.
On our webpage. It has a few of our beer descriptions on our main page. Those are our common Loon waters, we call them. Those are the beers that we will always have. If you click on the upper left corner, there's 3 little lines. You can go in and find our menu. We also have food. So we don't just have just beer. But in there, it shows the food that we have, and then it does show all of our beers that we have. As a brewery, and people know breweries switch out your beers very often.
Yeah.
And so, so our beers are ever changing.
Yeah.
The other place that you can find us and what beers we currently have is Untapped, which is a app that a lot of people use when they do brewery hopping. You can rate the beers on there, what you thought of them. It's just a whole beer app of just different places with beers.
And that's become super popular is jumping from brewery to brewery.
Yes.
Why not?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to have you on here because, we got a lot of listeners who come up from the Twin Cities or whatever, and they're driving up north all the time, and it's just good to know that you're right there on the highway. It's a nice, easy stop on the way wherever you're headed.
Well, and we have a large parking lot, too, that boats and trailers can come in.
Very important.
On the front, across the front, there's a long parking lot, and then also along the side. So there's room to turn around in there with your boat or, especially going to the cabin. You always have your boat with you. So, it's a large parking lot, and that's kind of another thing that we wanted, just to have room to park and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Boy, breweries have become so popular, and I know, was it last week, I think, was American Craft Brewers Week.
It's this week right now.
Well,
started today.
As we're recording this show, yes. I don't know when the show is going to air, but yes. Absolutely.
See, he's a professional. Did you see what he did there?
Nothing behind my head.
That's right.
Nothing up my sleeve. But anyway, we have rediscovered the great beers, haven't we, here in America now?
Yeah.
We have.
Yeah.
We really have. There's so many different varieties, and we were down in Arizona last week and just brewery hopped there, and there were some fantastic beers there. All these little craft breweries, they just come up with some great things.
Yeah, and I'm sure your brewer is like every other brewer I've met. They can't wait for, okay, summer's coming. What can I cook up now? And
it's nonstop. We actually have 2 brewers. We're really fortunate just to be starting off, and we have a brewer and an assistant brewer. So they work hand in hand with each other, and we brew 7 days a week already. So
wow, great.
That's really cool. And how about beers to go? You obviously have the growlers because we're seeing those here.
I'm holding one right here.
Have you gotten into the crowlers or any of those other things yet?
We have not yet. Currently, we just do the growlers being new, and with the whole COVID thing and stuff, it's kind of hard to get a hold of cans and different things. So we opted just to stick with the growlers for now, just getting started and stuff.
But keep in mind, I mean, they're just getting rolling too, so you can, Yeah,
and we've met a couple people. We just had a guest on last week that talked about starting during a pandemic. It's this is challenging, isn't it?
It was. It kind of worked out for us when we actually opened, because we kind of talked about it and pushed everything back and said let's just hold out for the winter. We'll get our work done. We decided to kind of push things off until the spring. Let us work through the winter. We didn't have to rush and try to work too hard. We already worked hard enough. So we pushed off through the winter, and it worked out perfectly to be able to open when things started to open up in the state too. So it's really worked out in our advantage.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, as you're telling us that story, Melissa is pouring again. Melissa, what are we about to sample this time? Oh, wait, she's got to have one for herself.
I need one for myself.
How rude of you. You didn't even let her finish.
Bobber Red
this
IPA.
is Bob. Okay.
So it's a red IPA. Most people don't have a red IPA. So it's very different, but yet it's very smooth. For an IPA, doesn't like a lot of people when they come in, they don't want something super, super bitter, hoppy, or they don't like IPAs because of the bitter hoppiness. Finding a lot of people are liking this, even though it is an IPA.
Right.
It doesn't like, as I tell people, it doesn't really bite you back at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Very nice.
So
well, I'm going to go ahead and take another sip here, Thor.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I mean, when people walk in, nobody should be intimidated going to a brewery to have a drink, because just ask the server. Just tell them what you like or what you think you like. You might not even know, but they'll steer you that way. It's always that way.
Yeah.
So
I usually ask people right away if they kind of look confused or they haven't,
oh boy,
I always just
I just took a sip of that.
Isn't that good?
Yeah. That's not half
really
bad.
Good. I like Bob.
I just always ask people what do you normally drink? Are you an IPA or aren't you? Is kind of is what I'd like to start off with. Do you like an IPA or don't you? If you don't like an IPA, I can request or, give you samples of different stuff that maybe isn't an IPA.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Well,
but
like you did with the Kolsch there.
Right,
you introduced us, and this is a little lighter.
Yeah, it's a lighter beer. We also have a Wave Rider that is a lighter beer. It kind of goes both ways for people. If they don't like an IPA, they like it. If they like an IPA, they like it. It's an Imperial Pale Ale. So Imperial, it has a higher alcohol content. It's 7.5 alcohol content on that one. Oh,
goodness, yeah.
But it's so light, crisp, refreshing. It's
I'm a fan of both IPAs and Pale Ales. I like them both.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
So you mentioned food. Talk about your menu. What can we have to eat at the Snarky Loon?
Well, we wanted to come up with something that would keep people around. They drink a few beers and they don't, that they we don't want them to head out and go someplace else for food. They start getting a little bit hungry.
Sure.
So we Melissa came up with a really good menu of just a lot of just finger foods and stuff that kind of keep you around. And we started out with loaded baked potatoes, but found they didn't sell as well as we thought. So Melissa switched over to a Philly sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
Which is super.
That's gone over big, I'm sure.
That's gone. Yeah. The first day we put it on, it went like crazy. And then a chicken sandwich. And we got kind of our main, I don't know if it's a staple, but it's a big seller. We got a 20-ounce giant pretzel.
Ooh.
We serve with beer cheese and whole grain mustard, and that's not just for one person.
Yeah, I was going to say
it's the size of a steering wheel.
Yeah,
it's
and the mustard's whole grain, so it's good for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And you have cheese, so that could be your protein and your dairy. And now you got your whole meal.
So
you got your grains.
Yeah,
there you go. You got grains. So we got it all. We're in 4 food groups. But yeah, we got fries, and we have
our scoop fries are very different. A lot of people really like them.
What's a scoop fry?
A scoop fry, I always tell people it's kind of like, your Fritos scoops.
Yeah, okay.
So
Gotcha.
it's kind of like that. It's a little bit thinner, but yet it's got a scoop. So we also do a loaded fry with that. So you can have a chicken bacon ranch loaded fry or a Philly loaded fry. And so with the scoop, it holds holds everything. The fry doesn't get super mushy, whereas a lot of times the fries or whatever you have a tater tot thing and it's always mushy.
Sure.
So these are, and we don't have fryers to cook our fries either. We have convection ovens.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh,
yep.
yeah.
So nothing is cooked in fryers.
Right. It's not in the oil and stuff. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Thor alluded to your logo on your shirt that you're wearing, Joe. It's awesome. Who came up with that?
We used a marketing team up in Nisswa, XT Creative.
Okay.
And she did a lot of her the lettering and stuff, but she had a graphic designer that actually came up with the logo, and we just kind of told her what we wanted. And after about 2 or 3 times back and forth, we got this logo, and we actually have 2 logos. We have more of a horizontal placed loon that's holding a mug with we've actually gotten it into holding a fishing pole with a bobber and a sunset, and then we got this guy.
I'm looking at your logo there. And is it just me, or he actually looks a little snarky? It looks like he's looking at me.
He has a toot.
He's got a little attitude.
He does.
He's
have
looking
a toot.
at me, and it's
yes.
I'm not going to say it's bothering me, but it's kind of.
He's just staring you
I'm
down.
respecting him.
Have a little more of that.
Have another one.
You'll be fine. That's funny. And how's the merchandise selling?
Oh my gosh, I can't keep it on the shelf.
Really? I can understand that because that is a cool logo.
Yeah.
Yes.
People love unique T-shirts like that, and it's a destination.
Yes.
And it's a memory for a lot of people, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's great about this is we've had, on this show, we've had Jack Pine, we've had Roundhouse, we've had these breweries in our area. I love the fact that we have a brewery a little further north on your trek. It's just fun to have all these around, and I'm so glad that you came in because now I'm learning about you and it makes me want to swing in.
Yeah. Cool. And we've heard from both of those guys who said the same thing as you. The brewery tours have become so popular that actually it's good to have a few around because that attracts people that want to do these tours.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we're not really, we're not in competition with them.
No.
Right.
It's, it's building the community as a group.
Right.
We people come into our place and we say, hey, have you been to Jack Pine, or you've been to Roundhouse, or hey, have you been to Rendezvous in Hackensack, or been up to Walker? We want to promote them, or 14 Lakes, promote all the brewers.
Yeah, it's really changed. It's changed a lot that way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.
Well, it's really cool too because a lot of them will say, hey, I was just at Roundhouse and they told me to come in here.
Yeah.
And, so it's everybody's recommending everybody.
Yeah.
Rendezvous, they have their people come all the way, tell them to come up to us, or, we're a big family. And before we even opened, they were all telling, messaging us, calling us, whatever. If you need any help, don't be afraid to reach out. We're here to help you. And then once we opened, they came and gave us gifts. They all brought us gifts from their brewery. We had some come from the cities. Actually, on our grand opening, drove up from the cities to come see us and bring us gifts and to welcome us into the industry. And so, that just all shows that we are one family. We're not competing against each other.
Right.
Speaking of gifts, too, Melissa, and Joe brought us gifts today. we have these cool
Well, they got
mason.
2 of them for me. I didn't see any.
Well, there's 2 here. I'm guessing, but I'm holding we're going to do a new picture on our Facebook page. I think with these.
I like that.
It's like a mason jar, but with a handle. It's got your logo on there.
It's got the Snarky
Very
Loon
cool
right on it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Those are the mugs that we use in the brewery. We don't use a traditional pint glass. We use these.
Great.
Also to go along with like our outside patios. We have 4 outside patios. It's easier to carry around
Wait a
one with
minute.
a handle.
Wait a
Back
minute.
up.
Hold it.
Back up.
What do you
Most
mean?
people have 1.
Yeah, well,
you said you had
and patios are
4?
huge.
4.
We have 4, yes.
Explain.
Are they like 4 like 10 by 10 patios? No.
We have our south patio, which I call it the beer garden or the hop garden.
Sure.
It's 30 by 25, and we're going to grow hops over top of that patio. It has fire pits, places to sit.
Smoke
We
tops.
have a north patio, which has the boards, bean bags. Yep, 2 lanes for that and some tables. Then our patio out the back. Eventually, when we get it done, we'll have a sand volleyball court. And then right now, we have another area just off the building that is it's fairly large, and it's a big grassy area. And we got a pontoon donated to us, which we were converting to a stage.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to have live music outside every Saturday night on the pontoon, and there'll be lights strung up, and people can hang out there outside of the picnic tables or chairs, and there'll be horseshoe pits out there. And so there's a lot of different areas for people to go and just to be outside.
And we have 2 ponds, so we have live ducks in our ponds too. It's kind of cool. So
no loons?
Yeah, I know, right? couldn't quite.
We're trying.
We're
Snarky
trying.
duck.
We feed them the spent grains.
Yep.
Our ducks eat our spent grains.
Oh.
That's why they're flapping around so funny out there.
Just ignore them if they're not,
Flying into trees. And I'm just kidding.
I don't think it works like
Hey,
that.
I love the outdoor space has become so important, and not just because of COVID, what we went through. That was a big part of it, but we're up north. Let's face it. We live in the Northwoods, and I'm sure the inside is just fun and beautiful too, but the ability to go outside and enjoy all of these, the bean bag toss, the fire pits. I love the
live beer pong outside, and just, that's kind of that's
and
what
parking.
we wanted. Yes,
parking for
too.
boats and trailers.
Yes.
Right.
Come on.
So when you go up north, you don't want to just go be inside. You go to the cabin for a reason, so you can be outside.
Yeah.
So that was our vision of, we have the fire pits out there, and the games. When you go to the cabin, it's just that's what you do. That's what So that was our whole vision to begin with.
And we were visiting with a Roundhouse a couple weeks back or whatever, and they said the same thing: is that when you're up here vacationing, it's not that you have to have different plans. You just kind of want to start for one area, and you'll find something to do. So if you're up whatever neck of the woods, you can head for the Snarky Loon, and you're going to find something. If you want the outside, great. You got all of it. If you want to stay inside, you do. If you got the food. So
we also have a large back area on the inside of the building. It looks really small from the front, but once you get in there, the back area, you can go see the brewery. But then there's also a huge area where we have room for a live band inside also.
Oh, wow.
And we have like 7 picnic tables inside in the back. So, and they're not by any means crowded in there. There's 3 high top tables along with the picnic tables also. So if the weather does turn bad, we can be inside. We can move that band inside, and we still have the space for it.
nice.
That is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so what was the building that you got before you guys moved in and
Did you
turned
build
into
it, or was it there? Or
It's
you?
pre-existing.
Okay.
It was a taxidermy shop. Trophy Time Taxidermy. That was
Not predominantly loons. That would be illegal.
that would be illegal.
It's illegal, yes. And we did ask him that right away, and he's like, no, I can't do that.
I can't. No.
It was originally started out as a landscaping building facility, and then went to carpet, and then to to the taxidermy shop, and then we bought it and ripped it all apart and did our thing to it.
Yeah, because I noticed now it's ringing a bell. You did a lot of remodeling. I've seen you working on the exterior, and it's really looking cool. I like it.
Yeah, we did a lot of work this winter, ripping things. We closed on the building September 30th and brought our hammers with us.
Yeah.
Went right from closing
Yeah.
right inside, started ripping walls down, and all through the winter, I said we ripped walls down and put things up, and it was, the dust finally settled about mid-February.
So you guys are working like 40 hours a week on this, right?
On that, plus our full-time jobs besides.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Oh, do you really?
Literally, yeah.
Okay, that was a joke and
No,
it didn't
but
go over so
seriously.
well.
Yeah, it was
I know you're working more than
literally-
40 hours, probably 70.
Yeah, it was a lot of hours there, and then our full-time jobs also. So,
Oh, so you're
but
both
we did
working.
all the construction ourselves.
Okay, cool.
We had a plumber and electrician,
Sure.
but pretty much that's it. We literally did all the work ourselves. So it's kind of nice to now be on the other side of it all.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'll bet you the people in that area love having a brewery there.
they really do.
It's amazing the support from the folks around the area. We have regulars now.
Mm-hmm.
They come. We got a couple that come every weekend. They're there. It's great to get to know these folks, and that's kind of one of the things when we did this whole deal was we're friends become family. People can sit at a table, talk to the table next to them, and next thing you know, they're connecting, and then they meet back up at the Loon when they come back up in town. And so it's kind of cool, and we get to know them, and they become kind of our family too. And
Sure. Well, and like you said, I mean, you alluded to Melissa camping, when you were younger or whatever, a lot of camping up in this area. And there's a lot of people that just do that, come up and recreate and camp. And,
Yep.
and it's nice
Definitely.
to have an area for them to head to. And
And it's been our theory for years that really when you boil it down to the real essence of bars and pubs, it's about the socializing. It's about meeting people.
Yes.
Right? And if you can augment it with a really good brew and maybe a fun game or two or some great food, that's just icing on the cake. But it's really, it's about meeting people, isn't it?
It is. It's, everybody's been kind of cooped up for a year.
Yeah.
And we haven't really gotten out. And now with restrictions being lifted, people are getting together and they're socializing around the fire pits. They're from different parts of the state and they're all talking together and getting out. It's really kind of cool what's going on right now where people are finally getting together. And
So make sure you don't just drive through Jenkins. When you cruise through, look right there north of the A Pine and right there is the Snarky Loon, and just make it a point to get there. That's going to be fun.
We're right off the Paul Bunyan Trail, so we have bicyclists who come in also.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
They swing in. So we're hoping in the wintertime that the snowmobilers will, on their path,
they will
run back and
they
forth
will.
and
That's
jump across
be a
too.
great snowmobile stop for sure.
Yeah. And we have a fireplace inside, so it's kind of nice for the wintertime too. So
Wow.
So it's pretty, it's kind of cozy.
Yeah.
I got to come and see your place. This just sounds fascinating. Do you have anything in there that is like something really unique that you've saved or put up that's kind of your signature item? Or
Our bar top is probably the talk of just about everybody. It's a local guy. It was his first one. It's an epoxy live edge black walnut bar top.
Ooh.
So it's 2-inch thick slabs of black walnut shaped in an L with a blue river down the middle of it. It's really, really cool. It's, I think, 11 feet long, 14 feet on the other side. And that's kind of people come in and they look at this bar top and they're
amazed by it.
They're really amazed.
Is this, I've watched videos of people doing this like electricity or something. It gets in there. Is that?
They just pour the epoxy in, let it sit, settle, and dry, and then they'll pour another layer of epoxy in. And it took them a long time to do it.
Sure.
But it turned out fantastic. And we ended up moving it on one of the coldest days of the year in February.
Oh, wow.
It was 24 below zero on Saturday morning, and we moved this thing. 8 guys picked it up, put it on a trailer, hauled it over. No, I'm two-fisting it. And we set it up in there, and it's really people will come in, they look, and they're just like, wow. And I think he's made another one for a customer who's come into our place.
Oh, wow.
He's actually made one for them too.
Sure.
That's cool.
It's fantastic.
Fun.
Another reason we got to go up. Okay, Melissa.
I just heard some clinking going
Yeah,
on.
we just poured another one. This is the Hazy IPA.
Yep, this is the Morning Haze.
Morning Haze. Okay.
Cheers,
Snarky Loon
guys.
Morning Haze.
Oh, my goodness. Well, let's...
Just even the smell of it. If you smell,
Come on.
you just get the smell, and
yeah.
isn't that just
Yeah.
In the
smells
trades, we call
amazing.
that the bouquet.
The bouquet.
Listen to you.
Excellent bouquet.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You've
This
hit
is
it on
probably
all
my
cylinders
favorite.
here.
Oh, I can see why.
So,
I'm with you on that. This is... Your last one was really good, but this has just got that extra flavor, doesn't it?
Yes. So our
Is there
morning.
a hint of citrus in this?
Oh yes, definitely.
I can
I was
also
going to
say-
say, I'm a little more citrus
Yes.
here.
Yep.
So this one is our experimental. This is experiment number 6, I believe.
Mhm.
And so the Morning Haze is ever changing, ever just slightly, whether it be a different hop or sometimes we add lactose to it, or the oat, the grain is just a little bit different, but just changing just very little, but they've all been really good.
So this is number 6. Are
Yes.
you going to eventually say there it is
No.
and lock
Probably
in on
not.
a number?
No,
or are you just
never.
continually...
We're going to let our brewer just
Okay.
have fun.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things when we started it was we want our
Yes.
brewer. He's got a great imagination and he's very enthusiastic.
He's young.
When he's
Yeah.
given the opportunity to explore different things, he really gets excited about it. And he's already, I think, got number 6 or 7 lined up.
Well,
And,
I think 7 and 8 are already. They just brewed another one yesterday. So
yeah.
Yeah. How many barrels of this do you have left? Really good. Really good. Yeah. Our compliments to your brewery.
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
the
you.
brewer is really good.
Yeah, he does really good beers. He makes some really, really fantastic beer.
Well, listen, growlers, swing in,
Yeah.
enjoy the atmosphere,
Definitely.
go in and have
Yep.
one right there.
Yeah.
It's new. You're not familiar with it yet, probably, but the Snarky Loon in Jenkins, it's right on the highway. You're not going to miss it.
Grab a bite to eat, have a beer or two, take a little home, play some games, enjoy the fire pits. Wow, what a place.
Come out for music on Saturdays.
That's right.
Saturday
Now, is that
nights.
starting already?
yes,
already started.
Yep.
Oh, good.
Every single Saturday
Good.
we have people booked. So
Good.
7 to
Cou-
9 o'clock every
couple
night.
Fridays.
Mhm.
We have a couple Fridays booked, and maybe going to do some Saturday afternoons. But
So, music Saturday night, 7 to 9.
yep,
So, come about 5 o'clock.
and drink, have
A
something
little
to
something to
eat.
eat.
It'll be
you
the
know.
best band you ever heard.
That's
With that
right.
plan.
Well, you
The
can
band
sit around and
appreciates
play
it.
outside. It's like on a beautiful evening.
absolutely.
You can see the sunset going down.
Yeah.
We have some amazing sunsets there. Yeah, it's just there's lots of room for your kids to run. Also,
Sounds like a lot of
kids
fun.
can run, and our
Yeah.
grand opening's May 22nd,
Ooh.
coming
wait a
up
minute.
right around the corner.
Okay, now this
Um,
show is probably right about
Yeah,
there.
May 22nd.
And so we also have lots of giveaways that day. 3 bands planned. The first one starts, Dose Guy starts at 1, and then it's Tangled Chords after that, and then Luke Friedrich after that. We have 2 food trucks going that day. Just lots of things going on all day.
Well, we're going to say right away, what you're hearing right now is tonight, because when this show debuts on the 22nd.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
So get up there.
Sweet.
Now you got tonight. You figured out tonight. Yeah, that's when this show comes out.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There you go.
Perfect.
Well, that's awesome. Hey, you guys have been so much fun, so gracious to bring us all these samples. Thank you so much for being here on
Thanks.
Pubcast Live, and
Thanks
we
for
will
having us.
definitely come to the Snarky Loon. These beers are fantastic.
Thank you. Thanks for
Awesome.
having
Thank you
us.
very much.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. I should have asked, is there anything else that we haven't talked about? You've had so much here already.
I don't think so.
I think we pretty much covered it all.
All right.
Well, you can come see our family working there. Our whole family works there. All of our kids, and it's mostly family.
All right.
Awesome.
Joe and Melissa, thank you so much for being here on Pubcast Live, and we will come and see you at the Snarky Loon.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right. Cheers. Joe and Melissa Klatt, our guests today. They are from the Snarky Loon in beautiful Jenkins, Minnesota. And that's going to do it for this segment of Pubcast Live.
There it is again. Another great show, great guests, and great beer.
I'll drink to that.
I am having, I'm going to finish off this Bobber?
The Bobber, yeah.
The Bobber one.
It's a red IPA.
A red IPA.
And it's really good. Yeah.
It's very good.
We're going to finish this off. Our guests have left the building and headed back to beautiful Jenkins. And I'm just going to say it. We got to go to check out the Snarky Loon now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is every week we discover something new, and so do our listeners.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, is finding these wonderful places here in the Lakes area. And if you're up vacationing, now you have a whole list of places to go to. But the Snarky Loon in Jenkins, brand new brewery with Melissa and Joe Klatt, and I think you're going to like their beer. I know we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the fact that they have 4 outdoor patios. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is.
There's so many different areas you can go to there to walk around and enjoy something. And that Loon has a really strange look. He's looking at me on the logo.
Yeah.
It's kind of snarky-like.
They've captured the snarky on the logo. You don't see that every day.
No.
Well, I'll tell you what, the beer is great, and it sounds like it's a lot of fun, and we can't wait to go check it out, and I hope you will too. And again, they're right there, just right on 371 in Jenkins. Slow down, and you'll see them off to the right if you're heading north.
That's right. On the east side of the road, just north of the A-Pine restaurant there, just look for a little bit north of there.
Yeah, into town there, and you'll see them. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Okay, in the meantime, I'm looking forward to hearing from you, our listeners, and if you'd like to suggest a place that we should visit, or maybe just have a comment on our show, we'd love to hear from you. You can visit our website at pubcast.live, drop us an email at info@pubcast.live, or find us on Facebook. Just search for Pubcast Live.
And YouTube, too. You can find us there.
I almost forgot about YouTube.
All the places.
All right. Hey, that's going to do it for this edition of Pubcast Live.